Hello everyone, this is Ishwar. I don't know his surname yet, it is very complicated,
It's fine, you can call me Ishwar.
but he's Ishwar. I always confused him with Srikara. Anyways, jokes apart, the usual thing, we'll go Zen mode. Zen mode is on and we'll play a 5+3 game. Let's find an opponent. Okay. Okay, let's go d4. My go-to opening. Okay, so he plays a rather hyper modern opening. He goes. I think he's wanting to go into Nimzo Indian defense after knight c3, bishop b4. Yes, he plays that, and I'm not sure what do we go for here. Basic idea is to pin this knight, which is controlling the e4 square, so that I can never push e4 very fast. Let's go queen c2 and take back the knight with the queen without damaging our pawn structure. We don't want to take with the pawn. The idea of this opening, called the Rubinstein variation, is to take back with the queen. Okay, so he takes the center, which is fine, I think. I'm not sure about the candidate moves. Like I know the candidate moves, but I'm not sure what is best here. There is a3, there is bishop g5, and there is knight f3. This pawn is not really threatening to take our c4 pawn because we would get the center if he ever takes it. Let's just play knight f3 and see what he does. Just supporting the central pawn, controlling the e5 square, and possible option for him is to go c5, opening the queen, really pressuring this pin. And if he plays c5, I'm really not sure what to do. Okay, he does not test us, which is making me think he might not be a very strong opponent. Like, he must be a good opponent, but his opening principles are not as good as mine. Sorry for the brag, but I don't. I can play. Okay, let's consider c5 in this position. So if you go c5, his threat is queen a4. We could go a3 here. He is threatening all sorts of knight e5 stuff. Oh, actually, bishop g5 would be a great move. If you go c5, okay, he just challenges our bishop. In that case, we just take, and there's no threat of queen a5 right now. We go e3, develop this bishop and castle next. Did Ishwar, do you have some doubts till now, like what move I did not play and why I did not play?
Yeah, so in order to weaken this bishop that's pinning your knight, why did you place the queen? You could have just pushed a pawn front, right?
A pawn in front meaning
Like the pawn in front of the rook.
a3,
Yeah, you could
a2.
you could just push the bishop back.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've already pushed the c pawn here,
Yeah.
and if I play a3, he can take my bishop, take my knight, and I take back, and I have doubled pawns on c4 and c3, and he's never really going to take and undouble my pawns.
Okay, I see.
So it's a playable line. I'm sure there have been many games with that line. We can just take back. I think that is clear here. We take with tempo. He did not wait till we developed the bishop, which is generally a good idea, so that we lose a tempo. Basically, it's a
Right.
general idea to first let us develop the bishop and then take here, so that we waste a move. Uh, okay, this I am not afraid of. I can just castle. Okay, so I think that line is completely playable. I just know the Rubinstein is a playable variation. That is why I played this.
I see.
So he plays knight c6, which also I do not like a lot. This knight is not supposed to be in front of the c7 pawn. The c7 pawn is supposed to be pushed in the center and pressure the center, eventually giving an IQP, isolated queen's pawn. Queen's pawn because it's in front of the queen, and isolated because there's no pawn on its right and left after he captures here and here. So it's a weak pawn, but it's a playable position. Anyways, he plays knight c6, which I do not like. His bishop is quite inactive right now, and I would like to keep it that way. So a good move here I think would be to prevent e5 somehow. Now how do we do that? A move that comes to mind is knight e5, but you can just take and win our pawn. So is there some efficient way of doing it? I think we can deflect this queen off this post on f6, but knight e4, why knight e4? But he has queen f5, which also pins our knight on e4. Maybe I'm thinking too much. I should just play e4 and threaten e5. So this is, I think, just a good move. I shouldn't. Okay, this just blunders a pawn. Let's see if he sees it. This was a blunder. I don't know what to say. Did you notice that this pawn is blundered?
Yes.
Okay, then it's I think very obvious.
Sorry about that. Just ignore it.
There was an explosion here. I don't know if it came in the audio. I was thinking too much, and eventually I just ignored primitive a primitive blunder. He's thinking. Usually, when you can see an obvious blunder, you shouldn't think a lot. You should just make the move, and because this is a primitive blunder, you don't need to think a lot about it. What can he do after this? I wonder. He's also threatening to take here. I don't want to exchange queens right now. Because he can, if we move our queen somewhere, say to d1, then he can take, and I can take with the g pawn. Yes, I think he will go for this option, and we have some counterplay with rook. So let me show you what I mean. He'll probably check us somehow, and we'll go to king h1. Oh, he's very greedy. He's capturing another pawn, and I am very skeptical if this is a good approach. He has to do something about this bishop, and okay, let's see if I can prove my advantage here. I think I am better, or at most this must be equal, but I have to find very accurate moves here. So my bishop is attacked. I just think I should move it. Let's move it to b3. I don't think I mean b3 just eyes this diagonal where the king sits, so it's a good idea. My basic idea is to go king h1, rook g1, and attack his king along the g file. Let's see what he plays. Do you have any suggestions or questions till now?
Yeah, so instead of moving the bishop, couldn't we have threatened the queen with the rook, and then that would give us tempo?
That's a good move, I think. Your move is good. I just didn't consider it. Okay, let's I want to move my queen somewhere while defending this pawn, and maybe threaten the c7 pawn, if that makes sense. And while defending this and attacking this, there's only there's not actually any move, because these are on different colored squares, and if you want to do that, you have to be here or time. Yes, we have increment, but I think I should just develop my queen like this. Maybe you can think of playing this move, just permanently disabling this pawn push. Okay, now this move is very irritating, so I should keep this pawn chain intact. And now I don't think he's I think he's giving good priority to this idea. So we'll just go king h1, rook g1, and see what happens. He will play bishop c6 next, and I'll go rook g1. I'll try to double up. Oh damn, this forces a bishop trade. Otherwise I just lose the exchange. This was a very interesting move he played. I think I am worse again. Oh my god, he just has this good move, very good move, and yeah, this is completely losing. But we'll still try to do our best, see if he blunders something. He's up 3 pawns now, which is a considerable advantage, and we are probably going to lose this, but let's not lose hope. We should never resign, even if we are down every material. We will try for stalemate and every possible. Okay, our time is very low. Let's go here. Let's try to get some of this idea into play. He allows it. Let's see how this goes. He can give a check, but I think we just get a tempo of getting on an open file. Although this is already completely winning. Let's get on the open file. I don't think he has any tempo on my pieces right now. I could play a sneaky move like queen c3, tempt him to take the free pawn and just checkmate him on g7, but I don't think he'll fall for it. This seems to be a very strong opponent. We can try it nevertheless, who knows. Okay, I tried to make it look like I made a pre-move. Let's see if he takes the pawn. This is very... Okay, he won't take it because the rook hangs.
Yeah.
This... Oh no, this is a blunder.
Whoa, let's
Wow,
go.
let's go. This was a very up and down game. Like a roller coaster, no doubt about that. 2 मिनट हम लोग वीडियो बना रहे हैं. आ जाओ वीडियो में आ जाओ.
तुमको तो फ्लैश दिख भी रहा होगा बहुत अच्छा था.
So let's try to guess the rating of my opponent.
Okay.
So as we move along, I will try to think of the rating and you just tell me what moves you were thinking of, or where are your doubts.
Okay, cool.
So d4, knight f6. Just interrupt me whenever you want.
Right, good.
Yeah. So you have competition. You have competition.
Okay, I have it out.
Hmm.
So why were you worried about this bishop coming on the longer diagonal?
This.
Yeah.
There's nothing to worry about. It's just that.
So like, why did it irritate you?
It did not irritate me particularly, but I just thought it was a good move to play because it gets up opposite my king. If it prevents my pawns from moving forwards,
Okay.
basically, and it defends the b7 pawn, which is kind of a small weakness. Not really, but possible to some attacks by this bishop or this rook.
Okay.
It is a very minor thing.
I see.
It was just a feeling, an intuition.
Okay.
But I missed this, and this just wins immediately. He has 3 pawns to the good, but he did not handle this position well at all, and he was not thinking with a calm mind. I think his idea was just to double up and exchange rooks, I think,
Yeah.
but he overlooked this.
Yeah.
A good tactical player whose tactics are strong will not overlook such ideas. So I don't think he's anywhere around the 1900 above range, and I don't think he's around below 1700 either, to be honest. He could be anywhere between 1700 to 1850, I think.
Yeah.
And I would like to think he's a higher rated opponent just because he played the opening well and so on and so forth. Like, he played the middle game well as well, and there was no end game, of course. So I would like to say 1792. When was the war?
Seven-
1792. There seems to be some war
Yes.
during that time.
No, 1792 is when French Revolution was in its last stages. So like there was this 5-member thing that was ruling, and then that fell apart, and then there was chaos for that year.
Wow. So basically, there's chaos over the board. My king is weak, and he has very good control. The French has very good control. You see. Did he play the French?
No, I don't. Wait, I'm not sure.
E6 is a French move. So let's just act as if we played the
Okay.
French in a d4 opening.
Right.
So the French has very good control, but it failed to sign the treaty, peace treaty very well. So it felt for Germany's trap. Suezen. What is that? Blitzkrieg. We are playing Blitz, right? So Blitzkrieg. I was 22 seconds. He was 1 minute 44 seconds here. He had a lot of time. So one important tip is just make sure you are not making any primitive blunders by taking your time as much as possible. just make sure you're not making any blunders. That is a very important move. Not move. It's a very important.
You did a smart choice by not resigning immediately because he did.
Yeah,
the
it's like even the top players, they don't resign immediately. They give the fight till the very end.
right.
For
that's-
example,
Yeah.
in one of my games, I played over the board.
Hmm.
I essentially lost an exchange once, and it was completely losing for me. But I bluffed at one point. I let him think that he has a tactic, and there was a beautiful move called that called for a queen sacrifice, and I would basically get back his queen. And I know I'm talking very abstractly, but the moral of the story is I drew that game. I should have lost that game, but I drew that game. And you should never give up. You should never resign. You should play till the very end.
That's true.
Okay, so I think it's 1792. Let's look at it. Oh my God! Wow, he's definitely underrated. He cannot. Let's look at his profile and see how many games he's played over the years. He's a very recent person who has joined very recently, just 4 days of play. That's quite a lot for a average working person, of course. 4 days is a lot, but he's not a regular chess player clearly. Is he? He started playing okay, yeah, you can see that he joined. He started playing very recently.
Right. That's
I don't know if it reflects the entire timeline, but just 564 games.
Like he joined early, but he started playing only recently.
No, I think it doesn't reflect the true timeline.
Okay. Yeah.
His rapid rating is very good. That makes sense because, and he's played classical as well. Quite interesting, and he has a provisional rating. Victories 1, defeats 5. So he's prone to, but he's prone to primitive blunders even in classical, I think. But his rating is average opponent rating is quite good. To such people, I would just advise to study tactics and just improve over time slowly.
Right.
Make sure you're not making any primitive blunders, and don't be in a hurry to play. You should always take your time. Okay, let's look at the game now. Just analyze it. Oh, he already analyzed it. He made 2 blunders and I made 1 blunder. When did I make that blunder?
When you gave up a pawn, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah.
E4 was a blunder, yeah.
Right. This one.
A3 was best. Quite interesting. And I made an inaccuracy as well. I mean, this doesn't matter, right? When was an inaccuracy? G takes F3, was it? Oh, it was B. What was it? When is the inaccuracy? It's from white, so it's G takes F3. I mean, the computer obviously thinks that exchanging queen is better. I don't know. You're -4, and from a human perspective, exchanging into an endgame is not advisable. I told you the idea behind G-F3 is to open up the G file and attack his king, because that is virtually the only way we can challenge him to prove his skills.
Right. That's true.
So we played a good game apart from that blunder. Other than that, queen D1 was also a blunder. Did I make 2 blunders? Acha, oh, I am seeing his thing as mine. Okay, I made 2 blunders and 1 inaccuracy. And he made just 1 blunder and 1 inaccuracy.
What is the other blunder?
I mean, this is the main blunder. This is the main blunder.
Yeah.
Playing this.
Uh,
The inaccuracy is bishop takes c3.
okay.
He should first force my queen off the defense. This is I will have to study this in detail because it's not very obvious why this is any better than just directly taking here and winning the pawn. So apparently taking the pawn was good, although as it happened in the game, this was not an inaccuracy. Bishop takes c3 was directly an inaccuracy, but the idea of taking the pawn was not directly an inaccuracy. which makes sense now, seeing that it attacks this bishop with a tempo. Although I have a counter tempo as you pointed it out, but maybe this rook is not supposed to belong to this file. I can at max win this pawn even if he blunders it, only if he blunders it. But no water. But basically it was a very high level game from both sides, I think. Not high level, there were blunders of course, but a good game in general.
Yep. Very entertaining.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope it's entertaining to everyone, not just us. So, do you have any doubts just in the opening especially?
I'm seeing this opening for the first time, so
Okay.
yeah. Nimzo Indian defense, was it?
It was Nimzo Indian defense. Basically, e6 is aiming for the Nimzo Indian defense. There are many moves here. There is knight f3, which usually leads to the Catalan in high rated games like Grandmaster games. Magnus plays this a lot. And should I call him Magnus sir? Like they call in Triple IT, our seniors. Like the seniors don't call Magnus sir. We call our seniors Magnus, some sir with the sir.
No, we don't.
Calling Magnus uncle, that is quite. He'd not be happy with that, I think. If we ever met him, he'd be like, he'll be like pulling his shirt like this, in rage. Like there was this one video, if you know. You have seen it?
Yes.
Okay, he won't give that reaction, but it's just a random thought that crosses my mind at random intervals of time in a fixed real line. Was that good trash talking?
Yeah.
So, okay, I was saying that knight f3 is a move here. There is also, okay, after knight f3 you can go into the Bogo Indian defense. This is called the Bogo Indian defense. There are two moves there, bishop d2 and knight d2. Both moves are logical. You might think knight c3 is also a good move, but in fact there is a slight edge for black in this position. After takes and c5, you don't want to take this and end up with triple pawns. That would be a good scene, a beautiful scene at the board, and a very critical assessment of your play by your coach or anyone who gives you chess advice. And the eventual plan in this kind of position is to pressure this pawn. You are never going to be able to trade this off. It is a huge weakness in your position, and it can be targeted with bishop a6 and there's this idea of knight c6, knight a5, and although you can defend it with this bishop and this knight backward move, it is a bad position. You don't want to play this. It is not advisable to play this either. So knight c3 is not a good move in general. There are two moves here, bishop d2 and knight d2, that lead to respectable positions. This is the Bogo Indian defense, and knight c3 leads to the Nimzo Indian, as we saw in our game.
Right.
This is called the Nimzo Indian defense. It aims at taking control of the e4 square, just like okay, I don't rant now, but just like the center control is important in the Rai Lopez opening. Rai Lopez is a very popular opening that you might know.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show it sometime later in some other video.
Okay.
Anyways, were you thinking of some alternate moves, or some moves that you found illogical, or some moves that you wouldn't play yourself but found good? Just any opinion that you think you should give people of your level so that they can improve their game, and something that you learned that will help you improve your game.
Yeah, I saw a few interesting moves today, and yeah.
Okay. Very concise answer to a very lengthy question. But it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was. I don't think I would play this badly in a classical game. Like, this is just a good move.
Right.
It forces the bishop exchange because I cannot afford to, let's say, go queen e3 and he can take my rook, and just a single rook, bishop and queen cannot, it can checkmate,
Mm.
but he can always defend with his queen, I think. The bishop is blocked by this pawn chain. It is a very small pawn chain, like how small you are. Okay, sorry for roasting you. This video is supposed to be instructional. Sorry.
It's all right path.
Okay. Uh, yeah, that's really all. This is not a good position to go into. So the bishop trade is forced,
And then the pawn falls.
and then the pawn falls. Yes. So either way, it is a losing position, completely losing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this move is what the engine is suggesting.
Mhm.
Maybe I should. Actually, I did not actually analyze, hit the computer analysis button. I think my opponent is quite. He just analyzed it to see how well he played and how well I played. And it's quite interesting. He made less blunders than me and less inaccuracies than me, but he ended up losing the game. This is the first time I've seen something like this. Uh, although I made more blunders, his blunder was a losing blunder.
Right, that's
The average centipound loss is 92, whereas I have made 51 average centipound loss, and yeah, that's basically he made a bigger blunder and lost the game. Thank you
Thank you.
for watching my video, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone is even going to watch this.
So takeaway of the video, one move can change everything.
Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.